Let me expand. Okay. They're laughing and not laughing at you, but yes, the soul is, it's like it's a bit like cells in a petri dish, you know, where they expand and they evolve and, you know, they grow and everything. And maybe that's not a great example, but with the soul, it wants to expand, it wants to evolve, it becomes conscious of itself, it needs to grow, and that's why it needs to occupy a human vessel so that it can have those physical experiences, you know, like the senses, that you, the touch, the feel, the taste, heartache. It needs to have all those experiences, it needs to travel through that, because that's how it expands, that's how it grows, it goes through those cycles, it needs to do that. And those cycles may be many lifetimes, it also may be in one lifetime there's many cycles that you go through, like you were saying, that repeating stuff that comes up, and then looking at sort of different scenarios, and, you know, with the brain thinking, okay, you know, maybe I don't want to live here anymore, maybe I need to move away and stuff. But it's about that. Remember, your guides are connected to your higher self. So it's our higher self is always trying to communicate with us. Our higher self is trying to build that connection with us. But we've lived in a world where there's been a bit of a disconnection from that. So it's we've lived in a world where we've gone through fear and everything else, wars and stuff, that it always feels that it's not down to us to make the decision. So connecting to your higher self is really about empowering yourself to know actually it is your decision. So learning about intuition, psychic abilities, energy work is about bringing it all together and having that connection with yourself, sort of really tuning into that, to have a great understanding that actually you're the one that's changing your life around you. You're the one that is going to make the differences in your life. It's not somebody else. But again, as I say, on the planet Earth, we've had situations where there's been wars and other things that's happened, the pandemic over the years, that we have felt so fearful that we've relied on somebody else to tell us what to do. Whereas actually we need to come back to ourselves and know what is it that we want to do, our personal self. That's part of our soul evolution. Now, by saying that, the soul comes to the planet any given time to learn certain situations and certain things that's going on. So we were meant to be born at this particular time. We were meant to be having these experiences. We're meant to have met those partners. We're meant to have come from those families. We've meant to have, you know, been controlled to some degree by others, for us to realise that no, we don't want to be controlled, or we, you know, we have our own sovereignty. We must manage ourselves. It's about ourselves doing that. And with our guides, when things happen for us or to us, when something happens, our guides are just trying to show us the pathway, trying to be by our side like guardian angels. You know, we have them interacting with us. You know, they're by our side trying to help give us some direction. But at the end of the day, it's your awareness of a situation. Earlier we was talking about a situation about forgiveness, or, you know, what happens if you're aware of a scenario and it keeps repeating itself and something that's happening. It's about your own awareness. It's about your conscious awareness of a situation. If it's a relationship and it's failed, it's about you having that insight into why did it happen? What led you into that relationship in the first place? Who was you in that relationship? Who was you before that relationship? Who was you as you were changing? Because the interaction with your partner at that time would have changed too, and so you changed. So it's the contrast we receive. So, you know, if it's not a relationship for somebody, it's the contrast we receive in life. It's like that's showing us who we really are. And we have to have the experience. We have to go through that experience for us to know what it is we do want and what we don't want. That's not going to change. So it's really important for you to be aware of it. It's about you are part of the program. It's not that you're the bystander or looking in at it. You are part of that program that's happening. So yes, you have to have your experiences so that you then can make your decision. It is the free will. You know, archangels cannot intervene unless you ask them, and unless they're, you know, your life is at stake, you know. You know, I say, for instance, Archangel Michael, when, you know, the van hit me, I heard that inner voice. It sounded like my nan's voice, sort of redirecting me. I wasn't meant to die, so in a sense of my head being severed through the windscreen, it was meant for me to change direction. But I have to have that free will for me to experience it. I had to be disabled for 4 years. I had to learn to rewalk. I had to learn that I was stronger than I thought I was before. And so when we're in these relationships or whatever's happened to us or financial, crisis, it's learning that how we move through it. It's not always about the goal at the end of it. It's about how we're moving through a situation. That's where we find our strength, how we managing it, what's going on for us, what do we need. So yes, our guides are directing us, guiding us, as if we, you go to a castle or a museum. Guides are going to show you certain things, but whatever you take in is whatever you're interested in learning. So that comes down to you and the free will.